first stage along the Weaver's Way goes from Cromer Pier to Aylsham in Norfolk. Starting from the pier, we climb into and then walk through the town of Cromer itself, crossing the nearby park and then heading south alongside Hall Road, past Cromer Hall. We divert next over the fields and then through Felbrigg village, before skirting past the Great Wood and Felbrigg Hall itself. Jinking southwards through the woods around Felbrigg Pond, the route then heads further south along trackways, roads and fields, before passing through Sustead. From here we pass along more fields alongside the Big Fen Plantation, and then along Emery's Lane and through Handsworth. Taking Ringbank Lane, we pick up a field and minor road route which enters into and circles through the charming village of Aldborough. After this, it's a long field path past an isolated church and across Thwaite Common to emerge in Erpingham. Ahead are a combination of fields, trackways and minor roads which bring us out at a rather confusing junction at Park Farm, but then we pass through the Blickling Hall estate and past the Great House itself. Finally, it's south along the roads to Silvergate, and then across the field and along a little bit of an old railway line to arrive at the Aylsham Industrial Estate.
So, welcome back once again to another Walking with Llama's Paws, and today, well, we're down by the sea. We're here in scenic Cromer, and we're going to be tackling a chunk of the Weaver's Way, one of the long distance pathways that goes through Norfolk itself. It's a kind of chilly but pleasant enough late November day, and away we go. We start off climbing up from the pier, up this gorgeous view. But yeah, nothing like a hill to start the day with. Now to work out how to navigate through the streets of Cromer. So just heading out of Cromer now, first of the stately homes there on the right. And we're about 4 miles away from the first real grand house I think we pass on this route. In fact, possibly the only really grand house we pass on this, although Norfolk is full of quite a few homes of the nobs. So it's not bad, after less than half a mile from the pier to out here in the countryside. You can see why Cromer's a popular location. It's done really well not to sprawl like things up in Lincolnshire in the same way. She's kind of kept it more of a quaint seaside town. Mix of today of roads and fields, and after the heavy rains we've had recently, I'm not quite sure if all the fields will be passable. I'm hoping not for the same experience as near the end of the National Forest Way. But anyway, it's a good start, but I am wearing gloves because it's a bit nippy today. Oh, and there's a pheasant I heard. So we're just heading out of the village of Felbrigg and heading down the track that goes around the edge of Felbrigg Hall, which is a local National Trust property. There's a lot of mythology around this in our family, as one of my uncles and aunts used to be the administrators here, which was apparently a very fascinating job about which there were many, many tales. To be honest, I only came here once, so it's not really part of my own family story, but a mild anecdote like this, which you've now heard. Still, it's quite a decent part of the world. Hopefully we get to walk right past the main house itself on this route, so we should be some nice shots of that. I will confess it's a lot smaller than I remember it. Nice enough. Oh, look! There's a pretend deer. How exciting. Lovely grounds though. Ripe for exploring. Oh, there's also apparently a giant rabbit there as well. Yeah, I could do with a bit of a touch up at the front. Anyway, so we're heading basically across the Felbrigg estate, and then there's a wiggly bit through some woods, and then we're heading south back across some fields. Now, I might not be a fan of the tombs of ancient capitalism like grand halls, but I have to say the grounds around Felbrigg really well kept, really beautiful. The woods in particular are stunning. I mean, we are autumn. Walkways, trackways, excellent, and unusually for stately homes, the actual route markers continue. Derbyshire could take note of that with its stately homes I passed through recently. But no, decent part of the world around here. One of the definite joys of walking across Norfolk on a route like this is it's a mix of fields, of estate lands, and little country lanes like this. And because we're a Monday morning, everything's relatively quiet. Very quiet indeed. I haven't seen anyone say hello to for the last 20 minutes. I bet I won't for a while though. Now I'm away from Felbrigg Hall. I'm just near somewhere called Lower Gresham at the moment. It's just to the north of me. I actually pass through it, just nearby it. Yeah, a lot of this route doesn't actually pass through villages. And a lot of the villages around here are, 2 or 3 houses. Very rural, a lot more rural Leicestershire, where I'm normally pounding the beat. But yeah, gorgeous. And the weather continues to be pretty much perfect for a hike today. So we've had some road walking through Sustead, and now we're heading down basically a farm track to Hansford. So again, continuing the theme of a bit on road, a bit off road, a bit on track. Norfolk is living up to my expectations of not being overly hilly as well, which does mean you can keep a kind of fairly good moderate pace, not as fast as I did the challenge last weekend, mainly because I'm stopping to work out where I'm going lots of the time here. But the signage, I have to say, well done to Norfolk County Council. Your signage is excellent. It's not quite on par with Leicestershire, very few places are, but really good for the Weaver's Way. It's very easy to spot virtually every twist and turn marked with a little red arrow. So very grateful for that. It makes my navigation a heck of a lot easier, especially when you get to bits where it's not 100% clear where you go next. You can probably see it's a bit marshy underfoot, and I've been through one very muddy field so far, but better than I expected. And we're an hour and a half into the walk now, so it's pretty good, all things considered. Well, nice little walk through Aldborough. Slight extra little kink on it there that I missed us turning in the village, but it didn't take me more than a few hundred yards off my route. And we're now across the field track to Aldborough, where I understand Mrs. Llama was recently. She sent me a text saying, I'm in Aldborough, but I'm going somewhere else now to find a toilet. So, fair enough. Wasn't really expecting her to wait for me. As you can see, it's quite a nice track down here. A little marshy underfoot, but nothing that can't be coped with. And the leaves haven't yet turned to total mush, so they're still relatively pleasant to walk through. If anything, I'm finding this more forested, this bit of Norfolk, than the whole bit I did in Staffordshire of the National Forest Way, which is a bit of a surprise. So it's nice. As you know, if you're watching any of my other videos, I love walking through wooded lands. So this is right up my street, or right up my pathway or track, I should say. More or less 8 miles into my route for today. I'm not 100% sure how far I'm going today. I'm aiming for a good 16 at least. I do worry if I go for much more than 18, though the light may be against me. We are getting into the shorter days of the year now. Still about 6 weeks away from the shortest day of the year, but Light is definitely fading by 3 o'clock considerably. I'm not overly sure I want to be tracking through places like this in twilight. Mainly I'll just fall over on my arse. Anyway, on we go and see what wonders Aldborough has for us. It's probably the biggest village we passed through since we left Cromer. Well, I'd say the route through Aldborough has been, well, twisting for a start, but the village itself, absolutely charming, a real jewel in the area. And yes, as I predicted, the biggest village I've passed through so far. So I've kind of done a very circumnavigation of it all, more or less. And are now walking on this, well, it says road. I'm less convinced it's a major road. Before we pick up a long stretch of fieldway south. We're currently in the 10th mile of today and doing well, really. Plenty of interesting bits ahead though, I suspect. I'm trying not to look too far ahead on my map, so everything surprises me more. The good thing is though, the further I walk, the nearer I get to where I'm staying in Norfolk. So, you know, there's every impetus to keep Mrs. Llama happy for the pickup later by making sure she's got as little distance to drive as possible. One thing that's fascinating about Norfolk is it's got lots of these churches that don't appear to be appended to a village. And look at that one, it's got a lovely Saxon tower on it. And you only discover them if you happen to walk down the road or you're locally know where they are. So they're a real treat to discover. Because yeah, I am literally in the middle of nowhere at the moment. I am wondering if Mrs. Llama even knows about this one, because she is out and about visiting some churches today. Obviously, the church videos over on her YouTube channel. Not that she ever gives me any promotion. Anyway, onwards across some more field now. Unexpected little surprise there. Mrs. Llama has just phoned me to say she's going to meet me in the next village and bring me some lunch. That's unheard of before. Just passing across a Thwaite common. Just lovely bit of land. I mean, you get the idea this has been here like this for some centuries. Very beautiful. Very unspoiled. Of course, also hard to navigate because there's not a lot of markers on this bit, but we'll find our way across it eventually. And then to Mrs. Llama, who'll be holding lunch. Well, I'm now suitably refreshed after 10-15 minutes chat with Mrs. Llama and a light lunch. Well, it's a very large sausage roll actually, but and now we've got 3.5 miles across road and track and field down to Blickling Hall. So hopefully going to keep going for another couple of hours now. I should get her to come and drop me off lunch halfway around more often. Still powering down the green lanes to Blickling. She's a fabulous diversion down a short stretch of what is known as Dark Lane. Also noticed I walked down briefly Goose Lane earlier on today, but didn't realise I was on at the time. As you can probably see from the sunlight and the general ambience around here, still utterly stunning, this route. Got to say, the Weaver's Way has really captured my imagination. Loving it. This is a really, really nice route. I mean, I'm lucky enough to come on a day when the conditions are just perfect. But all the same, it's taken me through some interesting little villages, some interesting little churches, down past a lot of farms and across some untamed fenland type areas as well. I think we've got a bit of common land coming up ahead. It's a bit more random, the route across it. So I'm going to stop recording and I go back to look at my map to make sure I don't go wrong. Well, a bit of fun there. Went up what I thought was the route because there were some huge digging machinery in the route I was heading down. I thought it was the way. Turns out it was no, I was walking through a farmyard. Very helpful, very patient farmer has just put me right and said, yeah, this is the diversion around that bit at the moment. Because yes, I was supposed to walk through the section I had all the diggers in, but don't really fancy doing that. Ooh, exciting jet fighting noise. Whoa! I think that's a Hercules. I won't swear to it. Or a Globemaster. I'm never sure which. But anyway, yeah, so 2 thumbs up for super helpful farmers in Norfolk, I have to say. Norfolk maintaining its reputation, as far as I'm concerned, there, for wonderful people. Really is winning me over, this county. Ah yes, here's our diversion, where we can pick the route back up. Just coming down from the tail end of the Blickling estate. I don't think I like it as much as Felbrigg, I have to say. Fewer trees, more spaced out, and obviously absolute nightmare of National Trust work going on with very poor signage at the south bit. After this though, a bit more work on some roads for a while. Of course, I'm meeting more people now because most like people walking the dog around here. And some people just having a stroll. Well, a rather unexpected meeting there at a Blickling Hall as Mrs. Llama was lying in wait again. I told her I'd be there in roughly an hour, and so we met up roughly an hour later. She had brought me some refreshment, and also the news that she was very tired from the days driving around and sitting and waiting for me. To tell her she had to come out and sit and wait, I thought she can go and do some other things, but... So I've been given my marching orders, and I've been told where I'm going to be finishing. So another couple of miles down this route, just to top off the route. Take us to about 17-ish miles down near Aylsham. Just kind of, we started after that going down a long trackway of disused railway. So I was kind of looking forward to doing a bit of that today. But I guess that'll be another day. It might be this week if I can persuade Mrs. Llama to take me out again. It might not. It might be the next time I'm in Norfolk next year. Anyway, we're on the road down towards Silvergate now. Nice name. And as it's our 25th episode of Walking with Llama Paws, perfect opportunity for you to give me a like, share this video, or of course subscribe. I'd be eternally grateful. We are now coming over the fields towards the north of Aylsham. These are quite these are quite big fields and quite deep. And not as well cleared as some of the bits I've been on before. But no matter. We'll soon be out of them and on some nice little bit of trackway. And then after that, meeting up with Mrs. Llama for the drive and back to our accommodation. Well, it might have been up a nasty bit of main road, but how do I know I'm coming onto an old railway line? I think the gate's the giveaway. And fingers crossed the rest of the route today is along this old, disused railway line. Haven't walked one of those in quite some time. And I do know that the next stretch of the Weaver's Way after Aylsham uses it quite a bit. Over North Aylsham, I think. So next time I get to do this, a lot more like this, I'm hoping. I must say, this is a spectacular way to finish off the day, and I'm sure you'll agree with me that, we've really experienced a lot of the beauty that Norfolk, North Norfolk particularly, has to offer on these autumnal days. No, magical county, lovely people, and tiring but very enjoyable walk down very well marked route. For the most part, a couple of places where marking could be improved, but hey, what long distance pathway doesn't have that? I think we've got about maybe 15 to 20 minutes walking left to do today. I'm going to enjoy it. Maybe even pick up the pace a little. And there we are. That's the end of today's excursions. I think you can agree. It's been a good one today. Now all that remains for me is to try and find wherever Mrs. Llama has parked her car, and then I can go and get cleaned up. See you for the next episode of Walking with Llama Paws.